Back right after these messages from your local station. Take advantage.
On Biscayne Bay, the Diet Pepsi Talent Challenge continues. Here are your hosts, John Candy and Ahmad Rashad.
Hi. Welcome back. Boy, we're having a great time here today, and
I can't believe you made me bring this out of my trailer.
I was trying to.
I wasn't going to keep it.
Like.
This is it. This is the award. This is what we're going for today. Huh?
You want me to hold that?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I never get to see these things.
I'm sure a lot of people may be wondering how we found our finalists.
Oh, I don't think they really want to know.
No, we really got to tell them.
Oh, come on, they're not interested in that.
Let me just
All right, tell them.
Get this out of the way.
Right,
Here it
get
goes.
it out of the way.
Each of the 28 teams was contacted and invited to submit entries. The 5 finalists were selected by NBC Sports based on their artistic interpretation and showmanship.
Now, in case of a tie, there's a big arm wrestling competition that will be filmed a little later on. Actually, we're going to make a pilot out of that.
We are going to make a pilot out of it because it'll be, NBC has lost baseball, so for in 1990, the summer, you'll be seeing a lot of that.
Celebrity arm wrestling.
That's what a Candy Rashad production. Little promo there.
Yeah.
Now, our finalists are being judged by a celebrity panel of judges. One minor rule, the time limit on each act is just 3 minutes today.
That's right. And take it from me, if you're bombing, 3 minutes isn't the limit. It's more like an eternity. Much like right now, as a matter of fact.
All right, back to the competition. Next up, a member of the Detroit Lions, a second-year running back and kick returner out of Southwestern Louisiana University. This performer hails from a musical family. His aunt was a soprano with the Berlin Opera. Please say hello to contestant number 2, Detroit's Carl Bernard.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. So I've learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all. Chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place. Find your strength in love.
Boy, I'm telling you, you're bringing it home.
Thanks a lot.
Well, you know what? With a voice like that, why do you want to play football with singing like
Well,
that?
hopefully with God's help, I want to do it all, because you only live once.
All right, man. Good luck to you.
Thanks a lot.
Carl Bernard.
All right.
Carl Bernard. Carl Bernard. Strong.
Man's got a voice.
He certainly does. Well, we've still got a lot more to come from the Diet Pepsi Challenge here.
We sure do. And there's so much more coming up.
And it'd be hot just like it's been so far, huh?
Boy, it's been a warm day today, hasn't it?
I mean, the talent here.
You always want to just kind of dive in the thing out there. You know what I'm saying?
You do want to do that?
This is...
Excuse me, Mr. Madden.
Hey, he's not John Madden.
Excuse
Yes?
me, Mr. Madden, but can I trouble you for your autograph?
Oh, no problem at all. No problem. I'll be back in my trailer. Back here. Is where
Thank
we're
you,
going.
Mr. Madden.
You're welcome.
I'm a
You're
big fan of
Well,
yours.
thank you. Yes, thank you.
I know Irv Cross, Coach.
Yeah, that's Irv Cross there. He'll be...
Hey, stay with us. We'll be back with more. Take it, man.
Woods came to the Bengals in the second round out of UNLV. 15 regular season touchdowns, 3 more in the playoffs, and tied the immortal Chubby Checker in the category of most dance crazes created. Ickey Woods hoping to get the call often today from Boomer Esiason. Under center for the 49ers, of course, 10-year veteran Joe Montana, who earlier this season found himself mired in a quarterback controversy and, for a short time anyway, on the bench as Steve Young's backup. Today, though, he finds himself with a shot at becoming the only 3-time MVP of the Super Bowl.
Joe Montana has quarterbacked the San Francisco 49ers to the winningest record in pro football during the 1980s. He also led his team to 2 Super Bowl titles against the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. Both times he was named the game's MVP. But then things changed. The 49ers lost 3 consecutive playoff games, culminating with last year's loss to the Minnesota Vikings, which brought up the age-old question in sports, what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. What have you done for me lately?
And it is what have you done for me lately? And I don't mind that pressure. I like the idea of that. I want to be the best I can be and do everything right from week to week. If it doesn't happen, I'll fight back the next week. All the blame for losing a game I could take, but for losing a job, being judged on one game was kind of crazy to me. That's the way this game is.
Yeah, and we talked earlier, and you had said that for one of the first times or few times that your confidence started to dwindle a little bit during that time.
Coming back and playing the next play is what it's all about. And if you're always second-guessing yourself, that next play is going to be tougher and tougher.
How did you get through that period?
Well, I think a lot of it has to be credited to Jennifer, because it was tough for me, and she just tried to keep me thinking straight about it.
I was the one at times that would be reading the paper and saying, how could they write this? Why are they saying this? And he'd look at me and say, it's okay, Jen. It's all right. It's no big deal.
It was a big deal to Joe Montana. The toughest part of his season was being benched during a midseason loss to the Bears. But Montana came back strong in the rematch 2 weeks ago and reclaimed his status as the team's leader, silencing his critics by throwing 3 touchdown passes. The rocky road back to the top of his game just made the trip to Miami that much sweeter.
When you look at where we started out and where we're finishing and the season we've gone through, and the way it's been up and down, not only for our team, but for me, that we have to feel really good about going into this one. And win or lose, we've fought back from a lot of adversity to get here. And we're looking forward to it. So I know I am.
You think they're through writing that Joe's through?
I don't think so. I'm not getting any younger.
All right, Paul McGuire and Coach Don Shula join me. Coach, you watched Joe Montana operate on your Dolphins in Super Bowl 19. You know what he can do. What's the difference between 2 great quarterbacks who operate in separate styles, your Dan Marino and Bill Walsh's Joe Montana?
Well, Montana is more like Bob Greasy was when he led us to the Super Bowl win, where you have to have the entire offense going for you. Complete control of the running game, the play-action pass, and then mixing in the short yardage play-action pass, and then the drop-back pass. Marino's a gunslinger. He likes to drop straight back where he sees the defense coming in. He knows where the linebackers are. He senses the pressure, and he gets rid of the football. He very rarely ever gets caught with a football. When you go play action like Montana, you're apt to get hit from the blind side, and he's had some sacks, and that's the reason for some of his injuries. But he's the quarterback that runs a complete offense. Marino likes to throw the football.
From a coach's standpoint, almost impossible to disguise coverages against Montana. He reads so well.
He really does, but the play action, you have to be faking to the back, and when you come out of the play action, if the blitz comes, you could be susceptible.
All right, let's talk about his opposite number today, Boomer Esiason. The MVP, no question about that, and the highest-rated passer over the course of the season in the entire league, but he did most of his damage the first 6-7 weeks, and really the last 4 or 5 weeks, his numbers have not been that impressive, Paul, and when he has thrown, it's been to the backs, Ickey and James Brooks more often than not, maybe to the tight end Holman. He hasn't gone deep to Eddie Brown and Tim McGee like he did early in the year.
I don't think he's had to. Ickey Woods has made the big difference in his performance. Here's a young man, Boomer Esiason, who I think has improved 100% over last year. Last year, Sam Weiss was not only the quarterback coach, but was the head coach. And Boomer had no one to talk to, Bob. You know, if you have someone to lay all your heat on and then let him go to the head coach with it, he just didn't have that guy. He does now. He got away from from Cincinnati for like 3 months, came back. He's absolutely fine, but I think the maturity of Boomer Esiason is 100% over last year.
All right, moving on to another compelling topic. It is obvious that Don Shula lives here in Miami. And, Paul, you're approaching that age when you might consider moving down here, too. So the two of you will want to watch this next piece with particular interest. As you may know, Miami is also the residence of NBC's Golden Girls, exactly the group of people you'd expect to see on the Super Bowl. But, like most Americans, those sassy senior citizens have settled in to watch the game. And I guess you've figured out by now that we're about to look in on them. Let's join them, shall we?
I can't believe we're going to watch this.
It's the Super Bowl, Dorothy.
It's idiotic is what it is. I mean, look at this. We're sitting here about to watch grown men kill each other. And for what?
For the football, Dorothy. You see that kind of brown oblong thing that flies through the
Shut
air?
up, Rose.
I love it because of the food. You gain 12 pounds in 3 hours. I mean, it hasn't even started yet, and my socks are cutting off my circulation.
Just look at them in those tight pants. Look at those rear ends. They're gorgeous.
Oh, I like the cornerbacks. They have the cutest butts.
Oh, I like the big guys. The ones with the necks and thighs like, I don't know, like horses. Rose.
Like horses?
Yeah, we used to have horses on the farm, and I was a cheerleader at St. Olaf's, and I always noticed the resemblance.
You were a cheerleader?
Fling that ball, fling it then, catch that ball, go, Sven, hurl that ball to the sky, yip, yip, St. Olaf, you're some guys, push that man, push him down, push and bash all over town.
All right,
we
Rose,
get it.
all right, we get it, we get it.
Who's winning?
You're a fan, Sophia?
Hey, I got money on Cincinnati.
What I don't understand is, a guy gets tackled, he's down, and then 17 more guys pile up on top of him. I mean, I cannot imagine how that guy in the bottom must feel.
Ask Blanche, she'd know. I would have gone to the game, but I was afraid I might distract the players.
Joe Montana is gorgeous. I like Boomer.
Boomer. How do you introduce him? How do you marry him? Barbara, do you take Boomer to be your long-awaited husband?
Any day. I love watching the Super Bowl. You know, we're friends. We can watch big, gorgeous men and not have to dress up. Lots of food and beer. And no one belches, I mean, except for me. Maybe it doesn't get much better than this. Hey, Blanche, what are you, going to get buried with those pretzels? Pass them over.
Joe Robbie Stadium slowly filling up. Eventually, there will be better than 75,000 people here to watch Super Bowl 23, the kickoff a little less than an hour and a half away. In the meantime, back out to the Miami Seaquarium, another installment on the Diet Pepsi Talent Challenge.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Yes, the new daytime version. Thank you.
Strong.
All right. Our next contestant is John Scully, who plays left guard for the Atlanta Falcons. He also plays the piano and sings, and I've heard him play, and he's very, very good. I did have to give him a pointer or two, though.
Wait, I wasn't aware that you played the piano.
I don't. I just told him to take the tape off his hands. It would help. He did take the tape off his hands. Seriously, though, moving right along. Here he is, contestant number 3, John Scully of the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey Eddie, can you lend me a few bucks? And tonight, can you get us a ride? Gotta make it to the tunnel. Got a meeting with a man on the other side. Hey, to this guy, he's the real thing. So if you wanna come along, you gotta promise you won't say anything. 'Cause this guy don't dance. And word's been passed, this is our last chance. We gotta stay cool tonight, Eddie. 'Cause man, we got ourselves out on that line. And if we blow this one, they ain't gonna be looking for just me this time. And all we gotta do is hold up our end. Here's stuff that's in your pocket. It'll look like you're carrying a friend. Remember, just don't smile and change your shirt. 'Cause tonight we got style. Well, Cherry said she's gonna walk, 'cause she found I took a radio and hawked it. But Eddie, man, she don't understand that $2,000, it's practically sitting here in my pocket. And tonight's gonna be everything that I said. And when I walk through that door, I'm just gonna throw that money on the bed. You see, this time I wasn't just talking. Then I'm gonna go out walking. Hey Eddie, can you catch us a ride?
Fantastic. All right, John Scully. Well, everybody down here is excited about Super Bowl week and Super Bowl day, but for you, it's a Super Bowl week for you and your family. You just got a new addition.
That's right. Well, my wife Annette obliged me by going into labor last week so I could come down for the warm weather.
This was sort of like labor down here, performing in front of these people, huh?
That's right.
All right, John, good luck to you. All right?
Thanks very much.
Now, you know,
what?
There's a new administration in Washington, and when we come back, we'll get a visit from the Minister of Defense.
Dan Quayle is coming here? I didn't know he played football. I thought his father got him off that team.
We'll be back. Will you stay with us? Will you stay with us?
Yes, and some Bob say that perhaps he should have been the MVP of Super Bowl I. You know, the history of sports championships is full of unexpected heroes, athletes who grab the moment and rise to the occasion. And such was the case 22 Super Bowls ago when Green Bay receiver Max McGee became part of the tapestry of NFL legend. But his story does not end there. Like the best Hitchcock thriller, his life has taken unexpected twists and turns and is a tribute to the restructuring of one's priorities. January 15th, 1967, the LA Coliseum, Super Bowl I. Vince Lombardi's legendary Green Bay Packers had their way with Hank Stram's Kansas City Chiefs, but not in the manner most people expected. At the age of 34, receiver Max McGee was truly in the twilight of his career. For the better part of a decade, he and roommate Paul Hornung had solidified their reputation as good guys after a good time.
They were like two peas in a pod. They were our Peck's bad boys, our bachelors, the guys that always came in on the morning after the game looking like they'd been out all night until an hour or so before the practice or before they came into the training room, and they had.
After a night out on the town before Super Bowl I, destiny proceeded to point a tired finger at the little-used wide receiver. Not expected to play, he came in to replace the injured Boyd Dowler. 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns later, the man who thought he'd be riding the bench was riding high, the hero of Super Bowl I.
He snuck out and had a date the night before a game. He knew he wasn't going to play. He came in very early in the morning and was surprised when Lombardi hollered his name on the sidelines. McGee was forced to go into the ball game. He didn't even carry his helmet.
I didn't know where my helmet was. I wasn't expecting to play, so I grabbed a guy's helmet. I don't remember who it was, but it's about twice too big. So I played the first series in some lineman's helmet.
Throughout his career, Max McGee had a knack for being in the right place at the right time, and that good fortune followed him when his playing days were over. The 5th and youngest child of a poor family, he went on to become a wealthy man through various business ventures that included a popular chain of Mexican restaurants. Max McGee lives part of the year in Minneapolis and spends the rest of the time here in Scottsdale, Arizona. He has led a full and eventful life, but now at age 56, he is into a new chapter, one that in a very special way has more meaning for him than anything else that came before. Meet Maxwell McGee, going on 3, the apple of his parents' eye and a child who has already fought and won some tremendous battles. 5 years ago, Max met and married his second wife, Denise, a woman 20 years his junior. Little Maxwell was born with Down syndrome, a genetic disorder resulting in varying degrees of mental retardation. Maxwell had physical complications as well, heart and intestinal problems that required emergency surgery and left the infant gravely ill, fighting for his life.
We were dealing with death, and we really just wanted him to live. At that point, Down syndrome was not an issue at all. It was just that we wanted our baby to live.
Fortunately, he had a great mother. She went, when he wasn't supposed to make it, he sat there and held her little finger there all night, on the night that I don't hate to talk about it. Sometimes I get a little choked up, but it's been a revelation since Maxwell's been here, because once he got, we got all the things straightened out, he has just been more fun to us. I've enjoyed that more than all the 5 World Championships, and you say that, but it's really the truth. He is more fun to me than anything.
He adores Maxwell. He's like the light of his life. I see it in his eyes when he looks at him, and when Maxwell smiles at him or gives him a hug or anything, he's ecstatic about him.
You're right, he's not going to play for the Green Bay Packers, but it doesn't make any difference. This guy, when he puts his arm around you, and it's something that if you could put it in a bottle, you'd be the richest person in the world.
Max and Denise McGee are expecting another child this year, and prenatal tests have told them it will be a boy. He will not have Down syndrome. They feel he will be Maxwell's protector in life, helping him to fight the battles that are yet to come. And we will return with more of our NFL Live Super Bowl pregame show right after these messages from your local stations.
I'm with Gary Waits from the 700 WLW Coors All-Stars. We play softball to raise money for the Ruth Lyons Children.
NFL Live, the Super Bowl, is brought to you by Nabisco and its many fine products. America knows Nabisco by heart. By Suzuki.
Boomer Esiason, outgoing, likable, and yes, the second left-handed quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Ken Stabler led the Raiders to victory over the Vikings in January of '77, 32-14. That was Super Bowl 11 for the Snake, John Madden, Clarence Davis, and the rest as they rolled over Minnesota. Now we're just more than an hour from kickoff in a game that more than 120 million Americans are expected to watch. Advertisers salivate at the thought of reaching an audience that big. So through the years, the Super Bowl has been the stage for some of the most dramatic and most expensive commercials in television history. Witness this year's Bud Bowl. This year, as a matter of fact, the airtime alone for a 60-second commercial during the game costs $1.35 million. And NBC wants me to fly coach to Chicago. Go figure. Among the recent blockbusters was Apple Computer's
Hey, come on, shade. We think your headband's great, but love that Icky say. Wow!
1,500 yards this year, led the 49ers in receptions. You may recall that he had a huge game in San Francisco's win over Miami in Super Bowl 19. And now as Gail Gardner rejoins us after reciting that list of Roger Craig's virtues, it's ironic to note that in truth he is not nearly as famous to the casual fan as a rookie out of Nevada, Las Vegas.
A certain young man known as the Ixter, who
Correct.
has refined the art of dancing beyond anyone's wildest imagination. Strength and speed, size and instinct. Icky Woods had the gift of making all the right moves on the playing field, but could easily have made all the wrong moves in life. He will be the first to tell you that he might have been the original nowhere man. As in, where are you headed, Mr. Woods? Hey, nowhere man. Suffice it to say that his life has hardly been a song and dance.
He is just one of those things, an infectious phenomenon. He of the ponytail, the silly little shuffle, and the extraordinary athletic gift. But what you see now is not always what you got. Everything changed for Icky Woods in the spring of '87.
My stepbrother got killed. He got killed by a drunk driver, and my best friend in the world, he got killed. He was shot 19 times and had his throat cut.
As determined as his course seems now, it took the drug-related murder of best friend Andre Horn to set that conviction in motion. Two people pointed him in the right direction. The first, his mother, Sylvia Taylor.
She's always had dreams of me one day being able to take care of her and things like that. She told me when I was 5, watching a football game one day, that I looked up to her and said, Mommy, I'm going to play professional football one day so I can take care of you.
As he prepared to play out his last season at UNLV, that childhood dream, though alive in his head, was dying in reality. Enter assistant coach John Montgomery, who became his friend, his mentor, the father that Icky Woods never had.
I would get away with a lot of stuff. Sometimes I wouldn't go to school or something like that, but John, you know, he wasn't for that, so he'd come to my apartment and get me out of bed and make sure I went to class. And looking at this guy, I didn't know him or anything like that, and I said, oh, this guy must be blowing smoke up my behind or something like that. And so I said, well, I have nothing to lose. So I did everything that he told me to do, and I did it 100%, and here I am.
A year's time, a lifetime, from lost soul to Bengals heart and soul, and perpetrator of the nation's newest dance craze. A concept hatched in his living room the day before playing the Cleveland Browns while his mother was fixing his ponytail.
I was just, jumping from side to side, and I said, when I score tomorrow, I'm going to do this. And my mom said, boy, you better not do that. And I said, I got to, Mom, I got to. And so when I scored, I did it. And when we got back home, she's like, boy, didn't I tell you not to do that, damn? I said, yeah, Mom, but I just had to do it.
That kid, he's got all the moves.
As they say, look who's doing it now.
From you, Mom.
And Icky Woods warming up live as we look at him, hoping he'll have the opportunity to do the Icky Shuffle this afternoon. You know, what's interesting, his teammates will tell you that they're happy that he's gotten all of this attention and that the little shuffle has caught on. But in reality, he is an outstanding fullback. They were impressed with him the day he walked in the door.
Yeah, he replaced Larry Kinnebrew, who was huge, 260, 265, and very effective as a straight pile-driving kind of runner. But in addition to his ability to duplicate that, to power run, Icky has the ability to cut and slash, and in that way is a little bit like, not quite as good a cutback runner as James Brooks, his partner, but duplicates a bit of Brooks's ability in that regard.
There's a tendency also to overlook James Brooks, but he has been so outstanding for them as he has been in the seasons when nothing seemed to matter. And you could very well see a big afternoon from him today.
As we head to this break, let's take a look at the man whose job is to protect Boomer Esiason and open up the holes for James Brooks and Icky Woods. Very possibly the best offensive tackle in football, Anthony Munoz of the Cincinnati Bengals. And that whole offensive line is plenty big and plenty good for Cincinnati. When we come back, we go back to the Seaquarium, the Talent Challenge.
Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right,
What a great crowd.
Great crowd, great crowd. We've mentioned that our 5 finalists are being graded by a celebrity panel of judges, all of whom are watching along with all of you at home. The judges are, drum roll please, Michael Mann, the executive producer of Miami Vice, Lauren Michaels, the executive producer of Saturday Night Live. New York disc jockey Don Imus. Brendan Tartikoff, the president of NBC Entertainment. Weird Al Yankovic, a Scotty Brothers recording artist. Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Don Luce from NBC's A Different World. Michael Talbot from NBC's Miami Vice. And Michael Weissman, the executive producer of NBC Sports.
And no instant replay, Judge, is
No,
there?
I don't think we could stand anything doing with an instant replay.
No, you don't want to see it. It's not pretty.
The judges will be polled by phone at the conclusion of the final act, with each judge voting for each contestant on a scale of 0 to 10 in categories showmanship and artistic interpretation.
Yes, a very important category.
The votes will be tabulated and the winners announced at halftime of today's Super Bowl. You know, John, you've played a lot of different characters. In your new movie, you play, what, 6, 7 characters?
Yeah, about that. And who's Harry Crumb, yeah.
Well, the next guy coming up is quite a character, so I figured that I would let you introduce him.
Well, thank you very much, Ahmad. My pleasure. Our next performer is one of the biggest stars in pro football. He's a defensive standout and a licensed Baptist minister. An off-the-field occupation that has earned him the title Field Minister of Defense. A 4-year veteran, this outstanding defensive end is a 3-time Pro Bowl selection. Please say hello to Minister of Defense, contestant number 4, Reggie White of the Philadelphia Eagles. Go for it!
Thank you very much. How many of you hate waking up when you were in high school or elementary school or whatever, you hated waking up going to school in the morning? Well, when I was a teenager, that's one thing I hated. I remember my mother used to come to me every morning. We know how mothers are, as sweet as they can be. And she used to come and say, Reggie, baby, it's time to get up and go to school. And you know, you wake up with stuff in your eyes, your breath smelling. Say, Mama, Mama, I just don't feel like going to school this morning. Can I stay home, please? She said, look, Reggie, son, you've missed 31 days out of school. Let's go, son. What's the matter with you? Some girl done broke your heart? And I woke up and looked at my mom, got my leg ready. Well, since my baby left me, I found me a new place to dwell. It was down at the end of Lonely Street at Heartbreak Hotel. Well, my mother said, get up, boy, before I knock you upside your head. And I said, let me tell you one thing, Mama. I'm the greatest fighter ever set foot in this house. I'll knock you out. I got a left hand iron, got a right hand of steel. If the left hand don't get you, Mama, the right hand will. She said, look, son. She said, look, I'm losing all type of respect for you. I said, nobody respects me, Mom. I tell you, I'm so ugly and I cry tears going out the back of my head to avoid my face, Mom. I tell you, get no respect at all, I tell you. She said, look, Reggie, now, if you don't get up, I'm just going to have to smack you upside your head. I said, go ahead, Mom. Make my day. She said, look, I'm not going to fool with you no more now. Quit acting like a dog. I said, roar, roar. Reggie, you're acting silly, son. So she went in the bedroom, and I hear something. So I wonder what Mama doing. So next thing you know, I hear something outside. I said, oh no, Mom to call the U.S. Army. So I went in, put my Rambo outfit on, went to the window. Thank you, God bless.
Reggie White! Reggie White! Strong, Reg, strong, Reg. Tell me this, I know you enjoy entertaining people. Do you enjoy this as much as you do sacking quarterbacks?
Well, I enjoy entertaining people, but I enjoy sacking quarterbacks because they pay me a lot of money to do it.
We're going to pay you too. John's got a little bit of something.
Yeah, John told me he had a contract for me.
Come over and talk to John. He'll give you
Don't worry
something.
about a thing. You're taking care of it.
All right, do not go away. We will be back with more.
Very funny.
Very strong. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, everybody. As you've heard, our home this afternoon has been the Miami Seaquarium, a beautiful place out here on Key Biscayne.
Yeah.
It's the full-time home of Lolita the Killer Whale and Flipper, the noted television star who's still turning flips after all these years.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, we just wanted to thank the folks here for showing us such a good time. And John, you had a word with Flipper a little earlier.
I was talking with Flipper a little earlier. I was in the water with him, and I was sad really to find that he was such a bitter dolphin after all these years. You know, what with the residual problems of the TV series and the lawsuits that he's going through now. He's written a couple books that didn't do well, but hopefully his new series, The Revenge of Flipper, that I think we've got the rights to, is going to do something.
Maybe something else you'll see here.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that.
All right, it is now time for our final performer, a member of the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, but this guy won't be in uniform for the Bengals today. Wide receiver Mike Martin, better known to his teammates as Moochie. A kind of unusual name, I guess.
Not really. My uncle's name is Moochie.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's unusual, but it works anyway. So, without any further ado, Mike Martin of the Cincinnati Bengals. Take it, Mike.
Moochie.
Come on, help me out a little bit. Come on. Girl, the only thing that matters in my life is that I'm down for you and treat you right. You got no cause to treat me cold as ice. And oh, girl, as long as I've been giving my love to you, you should be giving me your love too. But you just keep on acting just like a fool. You know it ain't cool. Don't be cruel. I would never be that cruel to you. I know, oh, I know. Don't be cruel. Girl, you need to change your attitude. I know, oh. Hey, cutie, what's up with this attitude? I thought I was being real good to you. I treat you sweet, take you out at night. But you never say thanks, girl, that ain't right. I brought you diamonds, even gave you pearls. I took you for a cruise all around the world. You treat your high pose, but you play me close. And if I hold a drink up, you won't even toast. Girl, I worked so hard for you from 9 to 5. So you could have the finest things in life. 'Cause you're the kind that's never satisfied. Oh, girl, as long as I've been giving my heart to you, you should be giving me your heart too. But you just keep on acting just like a fool. You know it ain't cool. Don't be cruel. I would never be that cruel to you. I know, oh, I know. Don't be cruel. Girl, you need to change your attitude. I know, oh, I don't. From fancy cars to diamond rings, I'm just about giving you everything. It's really not what I want to do for you. I brought you 12 yellow roses and candy too. I like to be up front and never play the back. 'Cause the way you treat me, girl's like a heart attack. I'm a real trooper in results to top. With you by my side, $50 I will cop. As long as I've been giving my love to you, you should be giving me your love too. But you just keep on acting just like a fool. You know it ain't cool. It just ain't cool. So don't be true.
Mike Martin of the Cincinnati Bengals. Mike Martin. Brought the house down. You know, you have a chance to be a double winner today. If you win here today and your teammates win over there on that other field, you take home all the trophies today.
Hey, man, we can do it. I want to get over there and root my guys on so we can get this thing going right.
All right, good luck to you,
Thank you
man.
very much.
All right, Mike Martin. Come on, Mooch. Okay. actor, entertainer, comedian. You do everything. I want to know your impression of these guys here today.
Well, I think everybody did pretty good. I am rather disappointed my personal favorite wasn't chosen. He was one of that Pittsburgh Steeler fella who did the lamb chop puppet with, in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was great. It was very funny. He did the high-pitched voice. He throttled it cutely. He stepped on its head and then barbecued it with his hand on it, and to me, that was funny. I don't know. That was entertainment. But I guess the judges decided it was a little too graphic for television. Anyway, overall, I thought our contestants showed a real diversity of talent. The one thing I'm a little surprised at, Ahmad, is that none of the contestants played Lady of Spain on the accordion. And I think that's a statement of some kind.
It is a statement that this is the 90s.
I was looking forward to it, but it is the 90s.
The 90s, we're moving forward.
Yes, and perhaps they'll be playing it on Casios and synthesizers. Let's hope so anyway.
All right, there are a lot of folks that we want to thank for helping put on this talent challenge. Of course, Diet Pepsi.
Yes.
The Seaquarium.
How about that Seaquarium?
The Seaquarium. Carnival Cruise Lines. And WTVJ, our local NBC affiliate right here in Miami.
Yep.
All right, so there you have it. 5 professional football players, 5 very talented men. Will you ever look at these guys the same way again?
I hope not. I hope not.
Okay. All right, just a quick recap of the talent displayed here today. Michael Young of the Rams, Carl Bernard of the Lions, John Scully of the Falcons.
Very good.
Reggie White of the Eagles, Mike Martin of the Bengals.
Moochie.
Mike Moochie Martin of the Bengals.
Fair.
But who's the winner?
I have no idea who the winner is. We're still waiting for our judges to get off the phone. We can't get through to them.
Well, they're being phoned right now. The votes will be tabulated momentarily, and we'll have the big announcement at halftime. So we know you want to stay with us for that one.
You'll have to. You have to. I know the suspense must be killing you at home right now.
All right, John, I'm looking forward to seeing you in your new movie, Who's Mr. Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb?
Or Mr. Crumb.
Mr. Crumb could be the
They
same.
call me Mr. Crumb.
All right, so while we're waiting for the results, we'll be back. Stay with us.
Want to get a bite to eat?
Yeah, I'd like to get a bite to eat.
If you like.
Fish.
Teams to victory, many are donating their time to community service as role models for youth. The Gladiator Trophy is symbolic of that admirable balance between civic and professional responsibilities, and it's the focus of a unique and prestigious award, the Travelers NFL Man of the Year.
Our Travelers NFL Man of the Year is a leader both on and off the field. This year's winner, Steve Largent of the Seattle Seahawks, is just that. A future Hall of Famer, he has established NFL career records of 791 receptions and over 12,000 receiving yards. But Steve is equally renowned off the field as a civic leader. He is actively involved with such organizations as the Seattle Children's Hospital, Spina Bifida Association, and Boys Village, a home for abused children. Steve, for the exceptional balance you've demonstrated in your civic and professional life, the Travelers, its independent agents and brokers, and our employees salute you as being named the Travelers NFL Man of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rich. First, I'd like to thank the Lord, who's the foundation of my life, my wife, Terry, and our 4 children, who are the cornerstones. The truth is, there are many players in the National Football League that are deserving this award, and I accept it today, thankfully, gratefully, on their behalf. Thank you, and God bless.
Along with the Gladiator Trophy, the Travelers will donate $25,000 to Steve's favorite charity. All right, the 49ers and the Bengals are gearing up. We're just about 40 minutes from the kickoff of Super Bowl 23, and it's time to introduce the folks with whom you'll be spending most of this afternoon. Our game announcers, Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. Dick?
And we'll promise you, Bob Costas, neither one of us are going to do an impersonation nor sing at all in our segments. You know, it's a truism that big games are won on defense, and that is our focus at this time. And I've been fascinated, Merlin, by the evolution back in Super Bowl I, the focus of the defense, the stars were those middle linebackers, Willie Lanier for Kansas City, Ray Nitschke for the Green Bay Packers, and then with the 3-4 defenses, there was the outside linebackers, the Lawrence Taylor types. But today, did you think you played inside? Did you think you'd live long enough for us to focus on the nose tackles?
It's about time. That's what I can say. But I can tell you this, if you want to win on defense, you've got to control the line of scrimmage. You need a great nose tackle to do that. We have the 2 finest in the NFL in Michael Carter and Tim Crumry.
And they have such different styles.
They really are different. If you sent 100 NFL scouts out and said, bring me the perfect nose tackle, they would come back with Michael Carter, 6'2", 285 pounds, tremendous strength and incredible quickness. His penetration will make it very difficult for the Bengal offensive line here today.
And for Cincinnati, the man who'll line up over center, Randy Cross of San Francisco, is a guy he likes nose tackle so much, that's what he uses for his license plate.
He deserves to have it on there. He gives a clinic every week. Classic overachiever, a 10th round draft pick. No one expected this kind of performance but Tim Crumry. Great leverage, always working up from underneath. Great hands, and the one thing I like most about him, he doesn't play just in that little phone booth in the middle of the field. He plays sideline to sideline.
Yeah, but why would anyone want to be a nose tackle or be a defensive lineman? How about quarterback, running back?
Dick, I don't think you understand how much fun it is just to brush those centers aside and then reach out, get a second guy in there, knock him back a little bit, and then you can get your hands on the quarterback.
Maybe the grass, but not in the control, Costas.
You're all right.
Edberg being roughed up mercilessly here. Well, when you talk about the war in the trenches and you talk about Carter and Crumry, you have to remember the centers. We're looking at Jerry Rice there, who makes his living out on the flank, and now I have no time to tell you about the centers. It would have been brilliant, but we're going to a commercial. Stay with us. Merlin talked about the outstanding nose tackle of both clubs. Michael Carter will be blocked primarily by Bruce Kozerski, the center for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Randy Cross, in his final game, retiring outstanding lineman of the San Francisco 49ers, will have the assignment of blocking Tim Crumry, the fine nose tackle of the Cincinnati Bengals. At the age of 80, Paul Brown, the founder of the Bengals, is watching his team in their second Super Bowl. Speaking of Brown, we're reminded of another great figure in the game's history, Art Rooney, whose Pittsburgh Steelers won 4 Super Bowl trophies. But even with such success, Art Rooney never changed. He was always the common man's man, always totally committed to the city of Pittsburgh and its people, and totally devoted to the game he loved. As this football season began, Art Rooney died at the age of 87, and now as the season ends, Frank DeFord remembers.
Franco Harris sprints it through. Harris scores! Lambert! What a charge by Jack Lambert. He's lobbing it deep. Stallworth! Touchdown, is it? Touchdown! Stallworth! Joe Green, who's intercepted a pass, comes up with a fumble at the 5-yard line. Bradshaw. He heaves him. Swan! Touchdown! What an acrobat!
Winning one for the Chief. That was our battle cry, so to speak. Win one for the Chief, and to see him standing up on the podium there with Chuck and the commissioner and Dan, it was just something real, real special. Can't be replaced by anything I've ever been a part of.
It was really quite easy being Art Rooney. You just went by what the Constitution said and treated everybody equally, behaved as Shakespeare wrote, to thine own self be true, and practiced what Jesus taught, love thy neighbor as thyself. Easy. Easy for the Chief. The man never changed. He lived in this same simple downtown neighborhood all his life, raised a family in this house, and stayed here till the day he died. It's only about a 5-minute walk down here to Three Rivers Stadium. And when the Steelers finally won a championship after 40 years of trying, he came into the office and he heard the receptionist say, "Good morning, World Championship Steelers." No, Mr. Rooney said. We don't have to tell people that. You see, win or lose for the Chief, the Steelers were all the same. In Pittsburgh, in his neighborhoods, in his church, and the good people. And no matter how big he got, the same good man always walked these streets.
Like one thing about Pittsburgh, they're the #1 city. And the one thing that I believe, and I sincerely believe this, is that what made them #1 city was the people.
You know, I would say our father tried to tell us of many things and values, but the biggest thing he really talked about was trying to treat people right and to be, you know, just that people were really good people. He said that often.
He was a street guy. He liked to talk about the street and the activities going on. The guy running for the office, what we thought about him, and, you know, and he'd just joke about it. And he'd bring a couple of his stories in about the past. He liked to talk about his past because they were the good days. No phonies, and You know what I mean? He would just talk straight up to you and say, here's the way it went. And he'd kill about an hour's time, but we made up for it, though.
I say hello to everybody. Half the time I figure that people think, who's that? Not because I do. I walk them down there. I say hello to everybody because, you know, that so many people say hello to you. I guess they've seen me on television and I figure that they know me.
So often since I've been back coaching, you know, I'd be in there watching the film and he'd walk by the door and have a cigar, my boy, you know, and I miss that. I just miss seeing him, miss talking to him.
He was the same from the time that I saw him until, you know, until the very end. You know, he really never was anything different. Was always the same person that was, you know, just did so much for all of us.
And we're joined by Marv Albert, and now, as seen during the Olympics, during the baseball pregame show, frequently on Late Night with David Letterman, so why not the Super Bowl? It is time, folks, for the Albert Achievement Awards.
Thank you, Bob. And this, the NFL version, the Wild and the Wacky, is compiled by our crack staff. We open up with Dave Craig of Seattle throwing the bomb, a fine pass off the helmet of receiver Brian Blades. Phil Simms of the Giants gets ready for the snap, but he's behind the wrong man. Over here, Phil, behind the center. Now here is the best stumble play of the season. Kelly Stelfer of the Seahawks going down, but still able to throw the touchdown pass. And a wide open Michael Irvin of Dallas, not pleased that he was somewhat overlooked. Some of our favorite goofy plays in preseason. Punter Ruben Rodriguez of Seattle did not have this in mind. A nice 6-yard punt, not helping the season average. And Gerald Riggs of Atlanta hitting the hole says, here, you take it. Unfortunately for Gerald, the opponent, San Francisco, recovering on the play. And some rough stuff this 1988 season. Robert Awalt of Phoenix with the catch and then goes head over heels. Keith Van Horn with a move that Reggie White did not appreciate. And this is Rod Woodson of the Steelers heading for an apparent touchdown, but he's accidentally stopped by his teammate. NFL officials had their problems. Casey Clark of Denver with a toss that was not well received. And how about this official so close to the action that he is the action and lived to talk about it. And it seems Colts head coach Ron Meyer was not able to get his point across. We close with unusual moments, a new concept from Lars Tate of Tampa Bay. Run into your own man, go down, suck up the defense, and then run for the touchdown. And here's the stupid pet trick of the 1988 season. And Chicago's Mike Ditka had these thoughts for a local television crew. So there you have it, the Wild and the Wacky, NFL style for 88.
Provocative as always, Marv, and we'll see you in the losers' locker room at game's end.
Right, no matter what the sport, Bob, I feel I relate to the down, to the depressed, those with that type of plight.
An accurate bit of introspection on your part. Excellent self-analysis. And now we're less than half an hour from kickoff, and we'll be back. The coaches, longtime friends, adversaries for 3.5 hours today. Back for Sam Weich now becomes Stanford Jennings behind James Brooks and Ickey Woods. Paul McGuire, before we scoot, who do you like?
Cincinnati Bengals to win it outright.
Forget the spread, they win the game.
Said outright, didn't I?
I guess that's what it means.
That's what it means, outright.
Suddenly you've become testy.
Well, it's been a long
Pre-game jitters for you, perhaps?
I'm ready. I'm bowling up.
All right. For Paul McGuire and Don Shula and Gail Gardner and Jim Gray and the cast of thousands, we thank you all. We'll have the result, the winner of the Talent Challenge at halftime, and more surprises for you. In the meantime, enjoy Super Bowl 23, everybody, and take a look at some of the people who helped us to put today's show together.